Before France standardized measurement, nothing matched. A pound in Paris was not a pound in Lyon. A foot in Marseille was not a foot in Bordeaux. A mile could mean a short walk or half a day. There were over 250,000 different units of measurement across the country. Not variations, different systems. Length, weight, volume, all inconsistent. This wasn't an accident. It was control. If you didn't know the local units, you couldn't trade fairly. If you couldn't trade fairly, you stayed poor. If you stayed poor, you stayed obedient. Measurement wasn't math, it was hierarchy. And France decided to break it.
In pre-revolutionary France, units belonged to rulers. Landlords defined land size. Merchants defined weight. Tax collectors defined volume. And they changed the numbers when it benefited them. Grain could be lighter when buying from farmers, heavier when taxing them. Wine barrels magically grew when sold, shrank when paid for. There was no neutral standard, only local authority. This meant three things. Trade between regions was inefficient. Disputes were constant. Ordinary people had no way to verify fairness. The system rewarded insiders and punished everyone else. Then the French Revolution exploded that logic.
After 1789, France didn't just overthrow a king, it attacked everything symbolic of privilege: titles, calendars, currency, and measurement. Revolutionaries believed chaos wasn't natural, it was engineered. If all citizens were equal, they had to measure the world equally. Same length, same weight, same volume. No regional exceptions, no noble privileges, no church standards. Measurement would be universal and rational. This was a radical idea. Instead of units based on a king's foot, a farmer's field, or a merchant's barrel, France would base measurement on nature itself, something no one could own.
France assigned scientists an impossible task: create a system that works everywhere, is logical, is divisible, never changes. Their answer was revolutionary. The meter would be defined as a fraction of Earth itself, specifically 1/10,000,000th of the distance from the equator to the North Pole. The kilogram would be tied to water. The liter would be volume based on the same logic. Everything connected, everything decibel, everything scalable. This wasn't just convenience, it was philosophy encoded in numbers. Nature over tradition, reason over power. Here's the part people romanticize. Standardization was not smooth. It was enforced. Old units were abolished by law. Measuring tools were confiscated. New ones were distributed. Markets resisted. Farmers protested. Merchants cheated anyway. People had spent lifetimes thinking in old units. Now they were told those units were illegal. Imagine waking up and being told everything you know how to measure is wrong. Many ignored the law. Some sabotaged it. The government responded with fines. Eventually, compliance won, not because people loved it, but because trade demanded it. The metric system succeeded because it was predictable, transferable, scalable. A meter in Paris was a meter everywhere. A kilogram today was a kilogram tomorrow. This unlocked something new. Contracts became enforceable. Engineering became precise. Science became repeatable. For the first time, numbers meant the same thing to everyone. Measurement stopped being political. That alone changed the economy. At first, the rest of the world mocked France. Britain refused it. Merchants complained it was too abstract. Tradition fought back. Then science chose sides. Physics, chemistry, medicine. They needed consistency, and metric delivered it. As French influence spread through Europe, so did the system. By the 19th century, scientists used it, engineers used it, armies used it, trade followed.
One by one, countries adopted it, not because France demanded it, but because not using it became inefficient.
Not everyone converted. Some countries kept hybrid systems, some still do. But even the holdouts quietly rely on metric behind the scenes: science, manufacturing, global trade. Metric became the default language of precision, even where it wasn't spoken publicly. That's real dominance, not force, inevitability.
France didn't just standardize measurement, it standardized reality. Once you define units universally, you shape how people build, how they trade, how they think. Decimal logic trains the mind differently. Uniform systems reduce friction. Precision accelerates innovation. This wasn't accidental. The metric system trained citizens for a modern industrial world. Measurement became infrastructure, invisible, essential, permanent.
France's decision erased centuries of chaos. Once the system locked in, there was no alternative path. You can't partially standardize reality. Either measurements match or nothing does. Today, global science runs on it. International trade depends on it. Technology assumes it. All because France asked a dangerous question. What if fairness started with numbers? That single decision reshaped the world. France didn't just change how things were measured, they changed who measurement belonged to. Not kings, not merchants, not regions, everyone.